Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync your iPhone contacts to MoxiWorks. So as soon as you add a contact to MoxiWorks, it automatically also gets added to your iPhone. That way the caller ID is always updated. You know who's calling you, who's texting you, and if you're away from the office, you can pull up all those contacts because they're on your phone. Also, you can set it up as a two-way sync, so any contacts you add to your iPhone can also get sent into MoxiWorks, so you can follow up with them. You meet somebody at the coffee shop, you add them to your phone, bam, they're in MoxiWorks for follow-up when you get back to the office. It's super easy to set this up too. Let me show you how. First thing you're gonna do is go to apination.com. You're gonna click on Start Syncing. You can see a ton of different apps here, marketing apps, productivity apps. I'm gonna scroll on down till I see M for MoxiWorks. Here it is, click on that. And it's going to show me the apps I can sync with MoxiWorks. So if you're using any of these other apps, go ahead and set up some automations for those as well and save yourself some extra time. Here's that iPhone contacts. I'm going to click on that. And you can see we have two syncs available. That way you can create a two-way sync. iCloud into Moxie and Moxie into iCloud. I'm going to start with this one, Moxie into iCloud. So I'm going to hit activate. And the first thing I have to do is sign into API Nation. If you don't have an account yet, you can click this link to create one. They're totally free to create. I'm going to come down here to the Google button and sign in using my Google account, which is also a great option. Now I'm going to connect to MoxiWorks. So to do that, you just hit the connect button. It'll take you out to MoxiWorks. You'll sign in, and that's basically it. It'll make the connection that way. Next, I'm going to connect iCloud, so I'll hit connect. And it's asking me for a few things, my Apple ID and my password. But it's not just a password, it's not my Apple ID password. It's actually asking for an app-specific password, which is a little bit different. So first I'm going to put in my Apple ID. And then you can read more about the app-specific password here, but I'm going to show you where to find that. You're going to go to appleid.apple.com. Sign in. Once you're signed in, you'll see there's a few options here. We're going to come on down here to app specific passwords and click on that. And I'm going to generate an app specific password. It's asking me, what do I want to name this? And you can name this API Nation. You can name this MoxiWorks, totally up to you. I'm going to call this one API Nation and hit create. There we go. You can see I now have an app specific password, and I need to make sure to grab this before I click the done button. So I'm going to highlight this whole thing, hit Control C to copy it, go back to API Nation and hit Control V to paste it in there and hit connect. That's it. We've connected both of the apps. Now we're just going to go ahead and subscribe, creating the sync between the two apps. And you can see here's the sync. It's not yet active. I just have to hit this button to activate it. But I'm going to go through here and explain a few other options you can do. For example, here is the filter tool we allow. For example, here is our filter tool. So if you only want certain people sent to your iPhone contacts, you can specify that here. Maybe you only want people with a certain label, or if you only want people with a certain zip code or job title or occupation. It's looking at a bunch of different fields in MoxiWorks, so you can choose based on any of these. Maybe you're only looking for people who have something in their notes, like send to phone. A ton of different options. I'm gonna go ahead and clear this out. I want any new contacts I add get added to my phone as well. That works for me. So I'm gonna clear that out, no filter. Come down here to mapping, and you can see we do most of this for you. Put in the phone number and the phone number, first name and the first name, last name and last name. Just go through here, make sure everything is exactly what you want. If you need something like email, I'm just gonna hit +, search for email, primary email address, just pop it in there. This all looks good to me. I'm gonna go to the top and activate this sync. All right, so sync is now active. Now any contacts I add to MoxiWorks automatically also get added to my phone. Now let's do the second half. Let's make it so anybody I add to my phone can also get sent to MoxiWorks. So I'm gonna click on this MoxiWorks logo here. It's gonna take me back to all the MoxiWorks syncs available. Come on down here, I'm gonna go to the iPhone. You can see here's those two available syncs again. And you can also see we have an active sync down here. We need this one now from my phone into MoxiWorks. So I'm gonna activate this sync. I'm gonna go through the same process, but I've already connected both these apps, so it's just gonna offer the connections I've made, and I just have to select them. I'm gonna hit subscribe. And now here is our second half of the sync. A couple of things I want to point out. Sync all contacts on first run. That means we can take everybody from your iPhone and push them into MoxiWorks so that you can start working those people in your CRM as well. So if I check that box, it's going to push everybody in there, and it's also going to keep an eye on any new contacts in the future. If instead you only want to start putting in new contacts, just uncheck the box, and then it'll only send over any new or updated contacts. Again, here's the filter. So if you want to set up a filter for people you add to your phone, maybe I want to have it look at the notes field, and if the notes contains Moxie, that will be the signal to the sync. Send that person to MoxiWorks, but everybody else, leave them alone in my phone. That's totally an option. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out again. And then again, here is the mapping. You can go through here and make sure everything is exactly how you want. You see here's contact name. I'm going to go ahead and add that. First name and last name. You just go on through here, make sure everything is exactly how you want. Once you're ready, just go to the top and activate that sync as well. And there we go. I'm going to go over here to My Syncs. It shows me I have two syncs running. MoxiWorks to iPhone and iPhone back to MoxiWorks. And that's all it takes. Now any new contacts I add into MoxiWorks, they're automatically going to add it to my phone, keeping my caller ID updated automatically. And I also have the option to have anybody I add to my phone sent back into MoxiWorks. It's going to save me a ton of time, a ton of data entry. It's going to allow me to manage my contacts better, which is going to help me create more deals. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.